The chamber of the Galactic Council was built for silence and fear. Stars glowed through a transparent dome high above, but none of the delegates dared admire them. Every seat was filled, every faction present. The galaxy's oldest alliance had gathered to discuss a single impossible word: Earth. For centuries, the humans had been ignored. A young species on the edge of the Orion Arm, loud, warlike, constantly fighting each other. They were judged too primitive to matter. Yet now, reports had arrived that made even the oldest races shiver. Councillor Valek of the Tharn struck his staff against the floor. His scaled hands trembled as he spoke. Something unnatural rises from their orbit. Our scouts have sent images. You must see this. A projection shimmered to life in the center of the chamber. What appeared was not a station, not a fleet, but a single colossal shape. Black, angular, with engines the size of cities. It dwarfed the alien frigate sent to spy on it. Gasps echoed across the chamber. That is no civilian craft, snarled Admiral Reshok of the Arvani. His tendrils lashed in agitation. That is a warship. A Titan class. But no Titan has been built for 10,000 cycles. The council erupted in noise. Delegates shouted over one another, disbelief mixing with fear. How could humanity, barely spacefaring, create something so vast? The design carried no alien influence, no outside technology. It was human-made. The elder speaker of the council raised her hand, and silence fell. Her voice was low but steady. We restricted their growth. We denied them hyperlanes. We denied them access to advanced trade. And yet, they have built this. How? The projection zoomed closer. The ship's hull bore markings in a strange alphabet, but the translation was clear. Atlas. Impossible, whispered a delegate. A primitive world cannot make this alone, another answered in a sharper tone. Then who helped them? Who betrayed us? Speculation turned to panic. Some claimed a rogue faction had armed the humans. Others believed Earth had uncovered technology buried on its own soil. Yet one thing was certain. Humanity had done what no young race was supposed to do. They had created a Titan warship. Admiral Reshok leaned forward, eyes burning. Do not underestimate them. If they have one, they will build more. And if they march those giants into the stars, our fleets will be powerless. We must act now. Strike before they awaken fully. Murmurs of agreement spread. But not all were ready to declare war. Councillor Valek raised his voice again. To strike at them now will unite them. Humanity is divided, but nothing forges unity faster than an enemy at the gates. Do we truly wish to awaken the wrath of a species known for war? The words settled heavily over the chamber. Everyone remembered the human wars broadcast through intercepted transmissions. Entire continents burning. Soldiers fighting until their last breath. A species that never surrendered, not even to each other. Now imagine that spirit behind a ship the size of a continent. The elder speaker tapped her staff. We will send an envoy, a fleet to their system. We will demand answers. If they resist, we will destroy this atlas before it leaves their orbit. Many agreed, but some hesitated. Fear was thick in the air, stronger than the recycled oxygen. Delegates avoided each other's gaze, as if the humans themselves might be listening. At that moment, a new signal entered the chamber. A live feed from a probe orbiting Earth. The delegates leaned forward. The image was grainy but clear enough. Atlas was moving. Engines the size of mountains glowed bright. The Titan was no longer silent, no longer still. It rose from orbit with a power that shook the probe's sensors. Waves of energy rippled through space, overwhelming the feed. Before the signal cut, the alien probe captured one last chilling sight. Human soldiers stood on the outer decks, saluting the void, their helmets reflecting the light of Earth. The chamber erupted again, but this time no one shouted in disbelief. There was only terror. The humans were not testing. They were launching. Councillor Valek's voice broke through the panic. It is too late. The Titan stirs. Humanity is awake. The elder speaker's staff struck the floor louder than thunder. Then the fate of the galaxy has already changed. Far away, Earth's oceans reflected the rising warship, casting shadows across the continents. Billions of humans looked up at the sky, unaware of the fear they had sparked among the stars, but the aliens knew, and the galaxy would never be the same. In the black silence of space, the alien probe drifted, its cracked hull still recording. What it saw made even its cold machine systems hesitate. The Titan was no myth. The human warship named Atlas moved with purpose. Enormous engines thundered, their light burning brighter than any orbital station. Radiation flares lashed against the probe, but it kept watching, feeding every image back to the Council. The Galactic Council sat frozen as the recordings streamed across their chamber. The sight was like a nightmare. The ship's hull stretched farther than the cameras could capture, layer after layer of armor. Jagged towers bristling with cannons, entire hangar bays carved into its spine. It was a machine designed for one thing: war. "Look at the scale," whispered one delegate. "It is larger than 3 of our dreadnoughts combined," a voice answered in fear. "Not larger, stronger. No ship in our fleets has reactors that size." The recording zoomed, showing human engineers walking along the warship's surface, tiny ants beside its metal cliffs. Every movement seemed coordinated. Every light flicker was deliberate. This was not an experiment. Atlas was alive. The council chamber broke into chaos again. Admirals demanded immediate mobilization. Some begged for negotiation. Others whispered that it was already too late. Admiral Reshok slammed his claws against the table. "You fools! Do you not see? That ship is not a defense platform. It is a weapon of conquest. They will not stay on Earth. They will come for us all," Councillor Valek answered, his scaled eyes narrow. "You assume they wish to conquer. What if it is protection? What if humans fear us as much as we fear them?" Reshok sneered. "Then why arm themselves with a Titan? Why build a monster when a shield would do?" The argument shattered as the probe sent its final sequence. The Titan's weapon systems came online. Rail cannons locked into place, with echoes that shook space itself. Turrets the size of fortresses rotated outward. Energy rippled along its spine, like a storm building across the void. Then came the sound that froze every delegate in the chamber, a human voice transmitted into the probe's receiver. Atlas primed. Target lock acquired. For a single second, the probe's sensors revealed the Titan's focus. An alien scout ship, small and sleek, had entered the solar system. It had not even powered weapons. It was only watching. The Titan did not hesitate. A pulse of gravity ripped across space. The alien vessel twisted violently, its hull bending like paper. Metal shrieked and then collapsed into nothing. One strike, one kill. The council chamber went silent. No one could deny it now. Humanity had not only built a Titan warship, they had given it weapons the galaxy had outlawed long ago. The elder speaker rose, her ancient frame trembling. "We have witnessed forbidden power, gravity weapons. No race has dared use them for 1,000 generations. Humanity has broken every law of the stars. Fear spread like wildfire. Some delegates begged to launch fleets immediately to crush Earth before Atlas left its orbit. Others argued that such an attack might fail, and if it failed, humanity would never forgive. Valek spoke again, his voice grim. "You saw how easily they destroyed that ship. One strike and it was gone. Do you truly believe our fleets can withstand such force? No, humanity has become something new, something none of us can control." The elder speaker lifted her staff. "We must prepare for both paths. We will send envoys to speak with their leaders. At the same time, we will gather our armadas. If they reject peace, then we will unleash war. That is the will of the council." Agreement came, though not with conviction. Fear lingered in every word. Meanwhile, far away, Atlas turned silently above Earth. Inside its armored core, human soldiers marched through echoing corridors. Their helmets glowed with blue light. Their rifles were locked to their armor. Every step sounded like thunder. In the command chamber, the captain of Atlas stood before a great window, Earth shining below. His voice carried calm certainty. "The galaxy is watching us. Let them watch. We will not kneel. We will not beg." Atlas is humanity's promise. Cheers erupted from the crew, yet tension filled the air. Every officer knew what was coming. Alien fleets would not stay away for long. First contact was no longer a question. It was a countdown. On Earth's surface, billions of humans lifted their eyes to the sky. They saw only a star burning brighter than the rest. Few knew the truth, that their world had just declared itself to the stars with a weapon that made ancient empires tremble. The alien probe transmitted one final image before its destruction. Atlas loomed across the void, its weapons glowing like the eyes of a predator. The ship rotated, aiming deeper into space, as if it already knew where its next prey would come from. As the Council prepared their envoys, new reports screamed across the chamber. A massive alien fleet had entered the edge of the solar system. Hundreds of ships, banners of war raised high, and Atlas was turning to meet them. The alien armada entered the solar system like a tide of steel. Hundreds of ships glided past the edge of Jupiter's orbit, banners of war glowing on their hulls. Their weapons hummed, shields bright as suns. To the Galactic Council, this was a show of strength. To humanity, it was the first test of survival. Atlas waited. The Titan warship hung in orbit above Earth, silent and unshaken. Its armored skin reflected the blue glow of the planet. Every cannon was primed. Every soldier aboard stood ready. In its command chamber, Captain Elias Ward watched the enemy approach. His hands rested on the iron railing before the forward window. "Status report," he said calmly. "Energy reserves at full capacity," answered the tactical officer. "Weapons locked. Gravity cannons charged," Ward nodded. "Then we meet our guests." Across the void, the alien fleet opened its channels. Their commander appeared in the Titan's display. A tall figure of scales and bone, his eyes narrow with contempt. "This system is under the authority of the Galactic Council. You will surrender your vessel and dismantle it at once. Defiance will mean extinction." The humans listened in silence. Then Captain Ward leaned forward. His voice was sharp, steady. "Humanity bows to no council. If you come in peace, we will speak. If you come in war, then you will learn what Earth has built." The alien commander's lip curled into a hiss. "So be it." The fleet advanced. In a single surge, alien warships ignited their thrusters. Plasma beams cut across the darkness, racing toward Atlas. Missiles trailed fire, streaking like comets. The first barrage struck the Titan's shields, shaking the ship but not breaking it. "Shields stable," reported the officer. "Minor fluctuations only." Ward raised his hand. "Return fire," Atlas roared. Rail cannons the size of mountains thundered. Slugs of dense metal tore across space faster than light sensors could follow. The first alien cruiser shattered instantly, its hull blooming into fire. A destroyer crumpled under a gravity pulse, dragged into a spiral until nothing remained but twisted fragments. The alien commander snarled as two more ships were torn apart. His fleet split into formations, circling the Titan, pouring fire into its hull. Plasma burned, missiles slammed, but Atlas held firm. Inside the command chamber, officers gripped their stations as the ship shook under impact. "Outer plating breached on deck 14, shouted an engineer. "Seal it and redirect power," Ward ordered. His voice never wavered. "Atlas stands." The Titan's weapons responded in fury. Turrets rotated, sending storms of metal and fire. Gravity beams ripped entire ships in half, pulling them apart like toys. Every strike reminded the galaxy why humanity had built Atlas, not as a shield, but as a hammer. Still, the alien fleet pressed harder. Numbers overwhelmed even a Titan. Fighters swarmed across its hull like insects, their weapons stabbing at joints and vents. Alien boarding craft shot toward its hangars, desperate to pierce the giant from within. "Enemy transports inbound," reported the officer. Ward's eyes narrowed. "Then let them come." Inside Atlas, human marines armed their exosuits. Heavy armor sealed around them, rifles clamped to their arms. Their commander's voice rang out through the comms. "Brothers and sisters, today the galaxy sees us for the first time. Show them what it means to fight humanity." The marines charged as boarding craft slammed into the hangar. Metal ripped open. Alien soldiers poured through, hissing war cries. But the humans did not fall back. They surged forward with brutal precision. Bullets cut through the invaders. Armor glowed as rail rifles spat fire. Alien eyes widened in horror. These humans were not weak. They were predators. On the command deck, Ward watched the battle reports flow in. Human squads held every breach. Alien transports burned in the void. Still, the enemy pressed, refusing to retreat. The alien commander's face appeared once more, filled with rage. "You cannot win. We are endless. You are alone." Ward's reply was cold. "Alone is enough." Atlas unleashed its hidden strike. The Titan's spine split open, revealing massive energy conduits. A surge of power gathered, brighter than any star. The gravity cannon focused not on a single ship, but on the heart of the alien formation. "Fire!" Ward commanded. Space screamed. A wave of crushing force burst outward, pulling entire squadrons into collapse. Ships slammed against one another, crumpling under the weight of their own mass. Explosions filled the black sky. In one strike, 50 vessels were gone. Silence followed, broken only by static. The alien fleet reeled, its formation shattered. Survivors pulled back, engines burning. But the war was far from over. On the far edge of the system, sensors blared. A second fleet had arrived, larger, deadlier. At its center was a ship unlike the rest, its hull crowned with alien sigils of command. The true battle for Earth was only beginning. The Galactic Council chamber shook with noise. Reports of the battle at Jupiter had arrived. Delegates screamed across the hall, their voices filled with terror and disbelief. The humans had stood against an armada and destroyed it. The name Atlas now echoed through every star system. Councillor Valek slammed his scaled hand against the table. "You all heard the reports. 50 ships lost in a single strike. 50. No fleet has ever suffered such a defeat in one battle. Humanity has broken the balance." Admiral Reshok rose, his tendrils thrashing with anger. "Then we do what must be done. Mobilize every fleet. Crush them before they expand beyond their system. One world can be burned. A Titan can be broken." A wave of agreement rolled through the chamber, but not all delegates spoke with the same certainty. The elder speaker lifted her staff, her voice cutting through the noise. "And if we fail? If Atlas resists as it did at Jupiter, what then? Will you condemn your worlds to ashes? Humanity has shown they will not surrender. Their soldiers fight with madness, their warship kills with forbidden power. We may awaken something none of us can contain." The chamber fell into uneasy silence. Councillor Dren, a small insectoid leader, clicked his mandibles. "Perhaps this is not conquest. Perhaps they seek only to defend their world. Let them remain in their system. Let them keep their Titan. As long as they do not spread, the galaxy remains safe." Reshok snarled. "Fool, they will spread." Did you not hear the human captain's words? They spoke of freedom, of defiance. They will not hide on Earth. They will march into the stars, and when they do, every one of our empires will fall. Others shouted agreement, while more voices called for caution. The chamber split, the council dividing itself with every word. Old alliances cracked under the pressure. Some demanded extermination, others whispered of negotiation, and a few dared suggest something even more dangerous, an alliance. Valek spoke again, slower this time, his eyes fixed on the council floor. "Think carefully. If humanity is truly as dangerous as Reshok claims, then perhaps it is wiser to stand beside them than against them. If Atlas can destroy fleets, imagine what it can do to our enemies outside this chamber. Do you not see? The humans are power, and power can be shared." The chamber erupted once more, this time with outrage. Voices accused Valek of treason. Others shouted that he was right. The council's unity, which had lasted for thousands of years, now cracked under the shadow of a single human warship. The elder speaker's voice thundered again. "Enough! The council will not dissolve into chaos. Here is my decree. We will send envoys to Earth under the banner of peace. We will also gather fleets in secret. If humanity accepts diplomacy, they may live. If they refuse, our armadas will strike together. This is the only path." Grudgingly, the delegates lowered their voices, yet suspicion hung heavy in the air. Whispers slithered from one faction to another. Deals were made in shadows. Promises of betrayal filled the void. The Council was no longer united. It was a nest of knives. While the Council plotted, the humans prepared. On Atlas, soldiers repaired the scars of battle. Engineers worked day and night, welding new armor, recharging reactors, recalibrating gravity weapons. In the mess hall, Marines sat in silence, their helmets resting beside them, their eyes burning with determination. Captain Elias Ward walked among them, his voice calm but fierce. "The galaxy has seen us. They will come again, stronger than before. Do not fear their numbers. Do not fear their threats. Remember who you are. You are human. You carry the blood of warriors who never surrendered, not on Earth, not in space, not ever. Atlas is not just a ship. It's our will forged in steel, and our will cannot break." The soldiers rose to their feet, striking their fists to their armor. The sound echoed through the Titan's halls like a war drum. Far above, Earth's governments argued in hidden chambers. Some demanded secrecy, fearing the truth would panic the people. Others demanded open war, yet one fact was clear. Humanity had stepped onto the galactic stage, and the galaxy had answered with fear. In the council chamber, a messenger rushed forward, his voice sharp with panic. "Honored Speaker, we have intercepted transmissions. The humans are not building one Titan. They are building more." Gasps filled the chamber. The elder speaker gripped her staff tighter, her voice breaking for the first time in centuries. "Then the age of Titans has returned. The alien fleet that survived Jupiter's massacre did not retreat far. Instead, it regrouped near Saturn, licking its wounds while reinforcements arrived. Their commanders believed they could still break Atlas if they struck together. But the humans had no intention of waiting for another siege. Captain Elias Ward stood inside Atlas's command chamber, his hands behind his back. Holograms of enemy ships glowed before him. He studied one vessel in particular, a heavy cruiser that had strayed from formation. "That one," he said. "It carries command officers. We take it, and we learn how they think. Prepare a boarding party." The order spread like fire. Across Atlas, Marines gathered in the armory. Armor locked over their bodies with the hiss of seals. Helmets flashed blue as HUDs lit up. Rail rifles were checked and loaded. Knives, pistols, grenades, everything was prepared. Commander Hayes, a veteran soldier with scars running across his jaw, addressed the squads. "You know why we're here? The aliens think we're animals, too wild to stand in the stars. Today we show them what human soldiers are. We go fast, we hit hard, and we don't stop until the ship is ours." The Marines slammed their fists against their chests in salute. Their faces were calm, but their eyes burned with a fire the galaxy had never seen before. Atlas maneuvered silently, engines low to avoid detection. The giant warship released a black dagger into the void, a boarding craft. It raced across the darkness, guided by stealth systems the aliens had no sensors for. Inside, the Marines sat shoulder to shoulder, weapons tight in their hands. The only sound was the hum of the engines and the steady beat of their hearts. 30 seconds to impact," the pilot announced. Hayes stood, gripping a rail above his head. "Remember your training. Remember Earth. Remember who you are. Humanity watches today." The craft slammed against the alien cruiser's hull. Magnetic claws dug deep. Cutting torches burned a circle into the metal. With a final burst, the breach opened. The humans stormed inside. The corridor flashed with enemy fire. Alien guards unleashed plasma bursts, but the Marines moved with terrifying precision. Shields flared as bullets tore through the defenders. The first wave fell before they could even call for help. "Advance!" Hayes roared. The squad pushed forward, boots pounding the alien steel. Grenades exploded in bright arcs, shredding defensive turrets. A Marine took a blast to the chest plate, his armor glowing red, but he rose again, fury driving him forward. The aliens had expected chaos. They had expected fear. What they faced was discipline, speed, and a will that refused to break. In the control room of the cruiser, alien officers shouted in panic. One cried, "They are inside!" "Humans, they fight like demons." The commander snarled, drawing a blade of plasma. "Then we cut them down. but the humans came before they were ready. The door burst open in fire and smoke. Marines poured in, rifles blazing. The alien officers drew weapons, but their resistance crumbled under the storm of bullets. Hayes cut through the smoke, his rifle raised. With a swift strike, he knocked the plasma blade aside and pinned the alien commander to the wall. The officer hissed, his eyes wide with rage and fear. "Why?" Hayes demanded. "Why come to Earth? Why risk war?" The alien's voice was bitter. "You do not understand. Humanity is not supposed to rise. The Council fears you. They always have. If you leave your world, the balance is broken. They will never let you live." The words hung in the air. Even in victory, the truth carried weight. Humanity had not been attacked out of chance. This was fear, a galaxy afraid of what Earth might become. Hayes stared at the alien, then tightened his grip. Then they should be afraid. The Marine squad secured the cruiser. Control systems fell under human command. The first alien ship in history had been captured, and its crew knelt before their new masters. Back on Atlas, Captain Ward received the report. A rare smile crossed his face. "Well done. The galaxy thought humanity weak. Now they know our soldiers stand as strong as our ship." Yet even as victory spread through the Titan, warnings filled the tactical screens. New fleets were forming, armadas greater than anything humanity had faced before. And whispers came from the captured alien prisoners, rumors of an ancient empire watching from the dark. On the alien cruiser's databanks, engineers discovered encrypted files. When unlocked, the message chilled every soul aboard. It showed images of vast fleets gathering beyond the rim. A superarmada, and at its center, a colossal flagship larger even than Atlas. The file ended with a warning in alien script. Humanity must be crushed before the Titans multiply. The alarms on Atlas howled. Red lights painted every corridor as officers rushed to their stations. The tactical screen showed a sight no human had ever seen before. The largest alien fleet in recorded history had entered the solar system. Hundreds of warships blotted out the stars, their formations stretching across the void. Cruisers, destroyers, carriers, and dreadnoughts. At their center loomed a flagship so vast it dwarfed even Atlas. Its hull covered in ancient sigils of command. Captain Elias Ward stood at the command rail, his jaw set like iron. "Enemy strength estimate," he demanded. 430 ships, answered the tactical officer. "Flagship power readings off the scale." "Sir, they came to erase us." Ward's eyes narrowed. "Then we give them a memory they will never erase." Atlas powered forward, engines glowing like suns. Earth cities below watched the live feed, every screen filled with the shadow of their Titan rising to meet the storm. Humanity held its breath. The alien armada advanced. Their flagship broadcast a single message across every channel. A cold, merciless voice spoke. "Humans of Earth, your rise ends here. The galaxy rejects you. Submit or be destroyed," Ward answered without hesitation. "This is Atlas. Humanity kneels to no one. Come and see what Earth has forged." The first volley shook the system. Plasma beams roared from alien cannons, streaking across space like rivers of fire. Missiles filled the black with trails of light. Atlas's shields flared under the impact, but the Titan did not stop. "Return fire," Ward commanded. Atlas thundered in reply. Rail slugs tore through cruisers, crushing their hulls into sparks. Gravity cannons lashed out, pulling destroyers into violent spirals until they ripped apart. A swarm of alien fighters darted toward the Titan, but its point defenses answered with storms of steel. The void lit up with fire, yet for every alien ship destroyed, more closed in. They attacked from every angle, hurling their combined power at the Titan. Decks trembled, shields buckled, and armor cracked. Sparks rained across the command chamber as consoles overloaded. "Deck 19 breached," shouted an engineer. "Casualties on lower barracks," cried another. Ward's voice remained steady. "Seal the decks. Redirect power. Atlas does not fall." Inside the corridors, human Marines fought boarding squads. Alien soldiers crashed through airlocks, roaring war cries, only to be met by human rifles and blades. The fighting was brutal, close, and merciless. Every corridor became a battlefield. Above it all, the alien flagship finally moved. Weapons the size of mountains aimed at Atlas. A beam of pure plasma erupted, striking the Titan's hull with a blast that shook every soul aboard. The shields shattered. Armor split. Fire spread across multiple decks. Atlas groaned like a wounded beast. "Direct hit," reported the officer. "We've lost forward plating and 3 main batteries." Ward's hand gripped the railing tighter. His voice carried across the chaos. "Atlas fights on. Bring the secondary arrays online. Target their carriers," the Titan answered. From hidden bays, new turrets unfolded, spitting storms of kinetic fire. Alien carriers exploded one after another, their fighter wings cut to pieces. The humans fought like cornered wolves, every strike aimed to wound the larger prey. But the flagship was relentless. It powered another blast, energy building along its spine. The crew of Atlas braced for death. Then something unexpected happened. Earth itself lit up. Across the continents, every power grid surged. Energy flowed upward, funneled into Atlas through massive orbital relays. Nations that once fought each other now poured everything into the Titan. Humanity had become one. The Titan's reactor flared brighter, drawing strength from its world below. The crew felt the surge through their bones. Systems rebooted, shields flared back to life, weapons recharged. Ward's voice was grim and powerful. "The galaxy wanted Earth united. They just gave it to us. Fire everything." Atlas unleashed hell. Cannons roared, missiles streaked, gravity beams tore fleets apart. Alien dreadnoughts fell in pieces, their hulks drifting into Saturn's rings. Yet even as the enemy line broke, the flagship endured. Its weapons glowed again, brighter than before. It had not shown its true strength yet. Sensors screamed across the Titan. The alien flagship opened massive bays along its sides. From within, shapes emerged, smaller Titans, warships of ancient design, hidden until now. Ward's eyes widened. They built their own giants. The battle for Earth had only begun. The solar system burned with war. Alien fleets scattered across the void, their wreckage drifting in fire and smoke. Yet the battle was far from over. The enemy flagship advanced, and from its massive bays emerged shapes that froze every human heart. Smaller Titans, each one vast and terrible, forged by alien hands in secret. The Council had condemned such weapons long ago, but now they revealed their truth. 3 enemy Titans detected, reported the tactical officer. His voice shook, each nearly as large as Atlas, weapons unknown. On the command deck, Captain Elias Ward felt the weight of silence settle. For the first time, even Atlas looked small. The alien voice filled the comms again, triumphant and cruel. "Humans, you believed yourselves unique. You thought your Titan made you mighty. Now you face true power. Your species ends today." The alien Titans powered their weapons. Vast cannons glowed, preparing to shatter the human warship. The crew of Atlas braced for impact. Ward raised his hand. His voice was calm, but beneath it burned a fire. "They think we showed them everything. They think Atlas has no secrets left. Let's prove them wrong." He turned to his weapons officer. "Release the forge." The officer's eyes widened. For a moment, fear flickered across his face. Then he nodded and entered the command codes. Deep within Atlas, colossal chambers stirred. The ship trembled as locked compartments opened, revealing a weapon hidden since the day Atlas was born. The Starforge cannon, engines roared as the Titan pulled energy directly from its reactor core. Streams of power ran like rivers of lightning through channels carved into its spine. The hull glowed red, then white as the weapon awakened. Across the alien fleet, commanders gasped in horror. They recognized the design. They had forbidden it eons ago, outlawed it under pain of death. A cannon that did not simply destroy ships. A cannon that could unmake stars. Ward's voice thundered. "Target enemy Titans. Fire on my mark." The alien giants unleashed their weapons first. Beams of plasma and gravity storms smashed into Atlas's shields. The Titan shook, armor plates ripping, fires spreading. Decks collapsed, and still the crew held their ground. "Shields collapsing," shouted an officer. "Hold steady," Ward ordered. His eyes never left the growing light of the forge. Not yet. The alien titans closed in, believing victory was theirs. Their weapons charged again, ready to finish humanity's dream. Ward raised his hand. Now! The Starforge cannon fired. Space itself screamed as a spear of burning light erupted from Atlas's core. It tore through the void faster than thought. One alien titan was struck directly. Its shield shattered like glass. The beam cut through its hull, slicing the giant in half. The explosion lit Saturn's rings in fire. Gasps echoed across the council chamber, where alien leaders watched the battle in horror. One titan destroyed in a single strike. Humanity had done what no race had dared for millennia. Ward's voice carried across the comms. This is the power you feared. This is Atlas. The alien titans faltered. For the first time, their commanders hesitated. Yet the battle was not finished. The remaining two titans launched their full fury at Atlas, determined to end the human warship before it could fire again. Atlas shook under the assault. Decks split apart. Entire batteries went dark. Marines fought to hold collapsing corridors. Engineers died sealing ruptures with their own hands. The Titan bled, but it refused to fall. Ward's command crew worked desperately to recharge the forge. Energy surged again, the weapon glowing hotter with every second. But time was running out. Another strike from the alien titans, and Atlas would be torn apart. On Earth, billions watched the feed in silence. Children, soldiers, leaders, all staring at the burning image of their titan fighting giants in the black sky. Fear turned to unity. Every city poured its power grids upward, feeding Atlas more strength. The entire world became its reactor. The forge roared again. Humanity's will surged into the weapon. Fire, Ward commanded. The cannon unleashed a second blast. It struck one of the alien titans square in the chest. The giant flared in light, its body breaking into fragments that scattered across the void. Only one alien titan remained. The alien flagship pulled back, shocked and shaken. The galaxy itself trembled as the Council realized the truth. Humanity had built a weapon that could erase civilizations. The forge began to overload. Warning sirens blared across Atlas. The weapon was too strong, its power threatening to tear the Titan apart from within. Ward stared at the burning readouts. His choice was clear: fire one last time and risk Atlas's destruction, or hold back and let the final alien Titan live. His voice was cold and steady. Prepare for the last shot. Atlas shook like a living mountain in pain. Fires raged across its decks. Metal groaned as the Starforge cannon drank more energy than its frame could bear. Warnings filled every screen. Reactor critical, the engineer shouted. One more shot could destroy us. The alien Titan, the last of the three, advanced through the wreckage of its brothers. Its cannons glowed, charging for the final strike. The alien flagship watched from afar, certain humanity's Titan was about to die. Captain Elias Ward stood tall at the command rail. Smoke and sparks filled the chamber, but his voice carried strong. If Atlas falls, Earth falls. If Earth falls, humanity ends. We finish this. Fire the forge. The crew hesitated. To fire again meant death. Yet not a single officer spoke against him. Their eyes met his, and in that silence they gave their answer. Humanity would fight to the last breath. The forge flared. The Titan's core screamed as it pulled the lifeblood of Earth's power grids into its heart. Cities dimmed, entire nations blacked out as they gave their final gift to the sky. Humanity itself had become the weapon. The alien Titan fired first. A colossal beam of plasma cut across space, striking Atlas. The Titan's shields shattered. Armor split apart. Whole sections of the ship tore away, drifting into the void. Men and women were thrown from their stations. Still, Atlas endured. Then the forge cannon answered. The light was brighter than the sun. A burning spear pierced the alien Titan, ripping its body apart from core to crown. For a moment, the void glowed with fire. Then silence. The last alien Titan was gone. The alien flagship broke formation, retreating in panic. Across the fleet, ships faltered. Without their giants, their courage crumbled. Humanity had stood against the impossible and won, but Atlas was dying. The forge burned too hot. Systems collapsed one after another. Engineers shouted over each other. Reactor breach in 60 seconds. Ward's voice was calm. All hands, prepare evacuation. No, Commander Hayes growled. Atlas is Earth's heart. We cannot let it be lost. Ward looked at him. If the reactor goes, nothing can stop it. Atlas will become a star killer right in our system. Evacuate now, the order spread. Escape pods fired into the void. Marines carried the wounded. Flames devoured the corridors, yet many refused to leave. They stayed at their stations, fighting to hold Atlas together for as long as they could. Ward remained on the command deck, his eyes on Earth. The planet glowed in the distance, fragile yet unbroken. Billions were watching. He would not let them see fear. Then, against all odds, a miracle. The Starforge core, moments from tearing itself apart, stabilized. Auxiliary systems kicked in, drawing power into deep reserve chambers. The overload slowed. The Titan shuddered, but it lived. Reactor stabilizing, the engineer gasped, tears on his face. We did it. She's holding Atlas had survived. Battered, broken, but alive. Across Earth, cheers erupted. Cities lit fires in the streets. Soldiers dropped their weapons and wept. Humanity had not only defended itself, it had stood against the galaxy and proved its place among the stars. In the alien council chamber, silence reigned. Leaders stared in shock, their faces pale with fear. One finally spoke. Humanity is not to be fought. Humanity is to be feared. But another wiser voice answered. No, humanity is to be respected. For they are no longer children of Earth. They are a power of the stars. Atlas drifted above its world, scarred yet unbowed. Its cannons were silent, its hull blackened, but its presence shone brighter than any fleet. It had become the symbol of humanity's dawn. On the command deck, Ward looked to his crew. Many were wounded, some gone forever, yet all stood with pride. His voice carried across the comms, reaching every survivor, every city, every listening heart. Today, humanity stood alone. Tomorrow, we will not. The galaxy knows our name. We are not prey. We are not forgotten. We are human, and this is only the beginning. The crew saluted, their eyes on the stars. Final scene, far beyond the system, in the depths of unknown space, ancient senses stirred. Massive shapes awoke in the dark, older than the Council, older than any empire. Their eyes turned toward Earth, now burning bright as a rising sun. The dawn of humanity had begun.